Today, I'm going over all the methods that I flip with, and much more. Enjoy the video. The first thing that I'm going to be talking about is ultimate enchants. The main thing you need to know about ultimate enchants is that they're expensive. This means it can increase the price of an item upwards to 1 to 3 million coins. If you get a lowest bin item with max ultimate enchants on it, you'll be making 1 to 2 million profit every time. This is what I use on items like Necron and Storm Armor because they're always lowest bin ultimate enchants. But always make sure that you're looking at the margin between an item and another one with the same ultimate enchant. If the margin is about 2 to 3 million coins, you will always make about a 1 to 2 million coin profit. The next thing I want to talk about is 5-star bin flips. With this, you will always see if a certain 5-star item is 2 to 3 mil under value. If they are, you can make about a 1 to 2 million coin profit. Always look at the margins between the item and the next item to find these flips. I recommend only doing 5-star because anything else like 4 or 3-star is always a slow sell. Another thing that makes an item a flip or not is if it has fumings. These always increase the price by about 2 to 5 mil on certain items. I always try to go for lowest bin fumings 5-star because they make the most money in the shortest amount of time. Always use ultimate enchants in 5-star with fumings because anything else won't sell. With bin flipping, I recommend flipping almost every single type of dungeon armor. This includes livid daggers, flower of truth, spirit scepters, and more. You can also flip Necron and Storm Armor, which is my personal favorite. Bone meringues, giant swords, and magma bows take longer to sell, but they're still worth it. Using the concept of market manipulation is buying out items to raise the price and sell them for profit. It's fairly simple. The only hard part is finding markets to do this with. I don't use this concept too much, but when I do, I buy out about 2 to 10 items most of the time. They're always dungeon gear, storm armor, etc. The way this works is if I have 2 adaptive boots for 300k, and the third is 600k, I'd make about 300k profit on both boots. The more items you buy out, the more money you make. It's very simple, the only hard part, as I said before, is finding markets to do it with. I recommend doing adaptive and almost every single other dungeon armor. flipping is extremely simple and so is the method. The method that you use is always go to ending soon and look for items that you think are underpay. Then you want to check if they are or not by going to lowest bin from that item. If you get a good deal on it, you will always be making a decent amount of money. There isn't any set items because almost anything can be flipped. I recommend flipping for early game and bin flipping for later game. The best way to tell if an item is profit is just by looking at the margin from lowest bin to what you're bidding. It's extremely simple, but make sure you do it or else you can lose money. This will always ensure that you're able to make money on this flip. I get a lot of questions about people asking me what should I list my items for. Now, the way you have to list items and prices is always go to lowest bin, and you can either put 100k, 200k, or 1 coin under that person. If you have hot potato books and theirs doesn't, you can put it for higher. If yours has fumings and they don't, you can also put it for higher. Now, fumings will be about 5 mil above, and ultimate wise or wisdom, etc. will be about 500k to 2 mil above. Always look at the lowest bin and you can put 100 to 200k below that. The risk factor of certain flips is what makes flipping profitable. Most people don't like to flip because they think it's risky. Now, I do not believe this is true. The reason people think it's risky is what if a person doesn't buy your item? Now, what you have to do is always make sure the items that you're buying are useful. Never buy 1-star, 2-star, 3-star armor because it's not going to sell. If you buy an armor piece, weapon, etc., always make sure it's something that you would use yourself. Because if you would use it, most likely other people would use it. Now, one thing that I also want to talk about is new items. I don't recommend AH flipping newer items because of the fact that you can lose more money on them as the price goes down. Example, the Axe of the Shredded slowly goes down if you're trying to flip it. I kinda learned this from experience because I did lose a good amount of money, but it's fine because I have a ton of extra cash saved up and it's completely fine with me. The main thing you have to worry about is if your item is going to sell or not. The most you can lose if you're being smart is 1 to 2 million coins. Now this is more late game. Early game would only be a few 100k. The main thing that you would lose money from is tax. The main things you want to flip with 1 to 10 million coins is dragon armor, livid daggers occasionally, and adaptive and emerald blades. You want to find these by looking for 5 stars on adaptive, seeing if you can get a 1 to 2 mil undervalue livid dagger, and for emerald blades, always look for 1 for all and hot potatoes because those increase the value by 800 to 500k. With 20 to 60 million coins, I always recommend flipping Flower Truths, Livid Daggers, Necron Armor, and Storm Armor. These are always the main ones that I flip because they're super reliable and almost always work. You just want to do them very consistently and get used to the markets. It's hard to explain how markets work and function, but this is basically how you use them. Look for lowest 5-star bins and also look for ultimate Ys or wisdom, etc. You always want to find ultimate enchants on these items because they drastically increase the price. Those are the main items you want to flip from 20 to 60 million coins. With 100 million coins and above, I recommend flipping all of the items that I said from 20 to 60 million coins and just start buying out markets. You can make way more money with this just because of the fact that you're artificially increasing the price. You can also flip giant swords, Axe the Shreddeds, etc. They're all really good when you have this amount of money. When you have this amount of money, I also recommend flipping level 100 pets just because they're very good for collectors who want them. The main way to find flips is always go to Necron or Storm lowest bin. There you'll be able to slowly scroll up until you think you found something that is undervalued. Once you find that item, always look from the margins around it because that can determine if it's a flip or not. You want to do this with almost every single item you look for. Bone meringues you can do highest price and work your way down just because there are so many of them. With livid daggers and flower truths, I recommend only searching Swarm or Soul Eater and you'll find some flips. Just because any other livid dagger most of the time doesn't sell, and you'll be getting a much better deal if it's Swarm or Soul Eater. Those are the main things you want to flip for with a high budget. Now, let's say you only have a few million coins and you want to flip adaptive. I would just use something like search adaptive and then go to lowest bin and look for 5-star. Because it's such a small market, it's extremely easy to look and find flips. Those are most of the things you need to search for, and with higher amounts of money, you can basically just buy out markets and you can occasionally double your money. To wrap things up, I would like to go over the process on how you can AH flip and bin flip. The main thing I want to go over is basically always go to lowest bin or ending soon. Lowest bin is for bin flips and ending soon is for AH flips. Now, the main thing you need to be worried about is risk factor and tax. Always make sure it's a 1 to 2 million coin flip so you can still make some profit. Other than that, make sure that you're using ultimate Ys, 5-star, and fuming just to find those flips. Search Necron, adaptive, flower truths, etc. and you'll be making a decent amount of money. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's completely free and it helps me out a ton. Anyway, thank you for watching, peace.